Alright, good evening ladies, gentlemen and Xenos of all ages. Welcome to another Tactica Imperialis livestream. It is a pleasure speaking to you all as always. Let me know on the sound levels in the chat because we had some inconsistent levels last time. So I just want to see how we are going. Obviously there is much to discuss. I don't want to do an entire video talking about Adepticon here simply because I've got a video coming out on Monday where I'm talking about Adepticon. I'm happy to discuss things that happened at Adepticon, I'm more than happy to do that. I've just got a video coming out on Monday about Adepticon in particular, so I kind of can say just wait for Monday in many things. Sound is good, all seems good, excellent, lovely jubbly. Yes, I did say at Adepticon several times. Apparently, I have a tendency of repeating myself to the fact that someone made a drinking game about something I say on the podcast. I don't get it. Do you like the fish elfman if he thinks the wave cape dude is techless? To the former question, the Arnet Deepkin, yes, I think they're very cool. Not so sure about the eel cavalry, but yeah. As for the wave cape dude, that will almost certainly not be techless. Let me explain. The Arnet Deepkin went rogue from literally everybody. I honestly don't think that they've come back to techless. So I don't think that's techless. I think that will be a general, perhaps a named character, but it will not be techless himself. I do not believe. I'm willing to be wrong, because, you know, Staff and Trident, I don't know, but I'm going that, for first guess, it's not techless. Sounds is kind of low in the chat. The chat is slow. There is a serious latency between the screen and the chat. I know that, but that's just so that we don't have any lag issues. I could try and reduce the latency, but that's mainly so that I don't crash anything. Taudex thoughts, I actually haven't picked it up. Nor am I sure I'm going to in the short term, because obviously I can't play my Tau at the moment. They're in England, I'm not. So I'm not sure. I've always said they're going to be mid-tier, maybe upper mid-tier. I don't think they're going to be turning over any tournament metas anytime soon. I've got no real reason to back that up. I just believe that. I just think that they're going to be good, but not tournament worthy. That's sort of my rough analysis. I know about the chat thing. The sound being low, everyone else seems to think it's fine, or that they just might be used to me being a little bit loud. I think it's because it's 100% techless talking, and he said we not there when he was talking about the deacon. The thing is, that the images that were on screen at the time came from the end times. I don't know. I just don't think it's techless. I'm willing to be proven wrong, but techless is a god of light. He's a god of light. Not the seed, light. So I don't think so. I'm willing to be wrong, but I think so. Yes, but new lore. Haven't seen it. I know about the Startide Nexus, I know that's a thing, but beyond that, haven't looked. I'm hoping to go to Games Workshop tomorrow, and if I get a chance to just have a quick skim through the Tower Codex, then I might do. But I don't know if I'm going to pick it up because it's going to obviously be in French and I'll have to buy the English version anyway when I get back to England because no one else in my friendship group can speak a pretty much more than a word or a sentence of French. There's only me. So, yeah but no but. It's kind of a yeah but no but in terms of getting the Tower Codex. Well, at least everything's functioning. They've got no serious lag issues. I'm very glad about that. We'll see how long that lasts. What do you think of the new Adeptus Mechanicus Necron box? Forgebane. That is really, really good. I've discussed that on a previous stream. I think Forgebane is excellent. Simply as a value proposition, it's absolutely an excellent value box set. Like, it's already cheaper than buying everything separately before you count the Armature Warglaives and the new Cryptek. So, just excellent value. Admittedly, I think the Necrons get the better deal. Probably, depends on how good the Warglaives are. But in terms of like having a viable army out of a box, particularly if supplemented with the start collecting, either the old one or the new one that's just been announced, the new Necron start collecting, I think Necrons get the better deal as an all-in army. but both of the sides of the box do get exceptionally good value, so very much worth picking up, is what I will say. Getting that? Completely don't blame you. If you're a Mechanicus or a Necron player, you really should pick it up. And then of course we've got the Imperial Knights Codex coming as well. I've just been wanting my second favourite character from the old world. I get it, I do. I completely understand why you want it to be Teclis. Like, Teclis is extremely cool, and with Marathi being in the game, and the potential for Malerian or Tyrion to come into the game, I don't know. I think Teclis will come as part of the High Elf faction, or whatever they've made as the High Elf faction. Because Marathi leads the Daughters of Cain, Malerian has his own Shadow Elves, and then there's these angel things, but I just want to make the point that Tyrion is blind. As far as we're aware, at this point, Tyrion cannot see. He can't really go out and fight if he's blind because he sees through Teclis. So maybe there's some sort of symbiotic relationship between the two deities. We're not sure at the moment. I'd love to see Teclis, and I hope we do see him soon, because having more godlike characters to go up against the Marathis and the Gashes of this world is always nice, but I don't know. I don't think that model in particular is Teclis. What do you think of Kill Team? Do you think it will work or fail? I hope it works. Kill Team didn't really take off last time for one reason or another, but I hope it does do well. I hope it does do well. It might draw some of the Necromunda crowd who sort of like the skirmishy format. Hopefully it will tempt some of the actual proper gamers just to say, all right, I need a game to play in a lunch break, or just for half an hour, I just want to try a bit of 40k. And it's a really good teaching game as well, because you only need a couple of squads. So if you've got Dark Imperium and you don't want to teach them the full game, just play Kill Team with them, have a very quick skirmish, and then whatever. Yes, but we need a god model for him, something that is a spell powerhouse. Yes, we do. And that's why I don't think this Ideneth model is Teclis, because he looks too much like a warrior. Too much in the Ideneth iconography, he looks too much like a warrior to be the ultimate wizard. Wait, what? I thought Tyrion died. Well, bear in mind, everyone died. If you're an old world character, everyone died. Sort of. But yes, Tyrion and Teclis both survived and became gods. Recommendations for stripping models? I've never done it, so I'm not the person to ask. I've never done it. Your best friend is probably Google or an actual painting channel. Probably the best people to go and talk to. I have several friends who are interested in the Kill Team but hate the standard Warhammer game. Yeah, I don't see that personal viewpoint, because obviously I got into the main game before things like Kill Team really took off. When I got into the game, Cities of Death and Apocalypse were practically your only expansions. And Combat Patrol had been rotated out of the game because that was in 4th edition. I got into the game in 5th. So I don't see that personally, but fair enough. I can kind of understand if you've maybe an old hat at the hobby who's just not who's fallen out of love with the main game or doesn't like what they've done with 8th edition for one reason or another. Then you might want to try Kill Team. That's not a bad call. No, you didn't miss much. Just early discussions and stuff. We only been going for about less than 10 minutes. So you're all good. Good to know. Absolutely. So I've got one model I want to paint tonight, so I can get my Vanguard Hunters completely done. I'll get that done, and then tomorrow I'll probably go and get some fresh black paint so I can do my last box of Paladors, which is all lovely. Thought the only old world dude were the 8 magic dudes and the 3 under Nagash. Kinda, like, Marathi survived by being consumed by Slanesh. Archaon survived because he's Archaon and he's Chaos devoted. Sigmar survived, obviously, and Nagash survived, and the Mortarks survived because death is kind of eternal and all that stuff. There are not many survivors of the world that was, and pretty much all the ones that did survive are the gods or became the gods. So Grungni, Nagash, Gorka Morka, Tyrion, Teclis, Marathi-ish, the Chaos Gods, obviously, Malerian, or who was Malekith at the time. I don't know about all the incarnates, we'll have to see. I play the Warhammer again regular, but I suck at it. Yeah, it's still fun. Absolutely. Would you do a heavy fixed crisis suits this edition? Well, they got buffed. Their weapons got cheaper. They got cheaper. So that's a big boost in and of itself. Like I say, I haven't seen the Tau Codex and how it looks, but I wouldn't expect a second Codex this edition. So what you get for Crisis Suits plus the FAQ and errata is pretty much how Crisis Suits are going to behave for most of 8th edition, I suspect, unless they make 8th edition sort of like AOS, where it's a rolling, ever-updated rule set, in which case they might get a Codex one day. And a second Codex to patch them up. We'll see. Depends on what model they want to go for, whether they want to go down the Age of Sigmar route, where you just supplement it with the General's Handbook type thing, or a chapter approved, and then you just have one set of battle tomes or codices that stay forever and just add more rules on top. I don't know, we'll see. They got more expensive. Alexis said on the podcast they got cheaper. Or maybe that was some other suit. Apologies if I got that wrong. How do you feel about the Horned Rat taking Slaanesh place in Age of Sigmar? Now, the Horned Rat hasn't taken Slaanesh place. This is the... support systems, right. I just want to make the point with Slaanesh and the Horned Rat. The Horned Rat is the usurper. The other three gods do not look favourably upon the Horned Rat at all. Slaanesh is still around, it's just been captured. It's still there. It's been trapped between Haish and Ulgu, so having the Elven soul sort of siphoned off of it, and that's where it's set up. So one day Slaanesh might escape or be freed because Morathi screwed up, and thus the servants of Slaanesh were drawn to Ulgu and got at Slaanesh and got Slaanesh out. And then what does that leave the Horned Rat? Do we have a pantheon of 5, or does the Horned Rat get kicked down the pecking order again by Slaanesh saying, "No, you don't, get out of my seat, bleep"? We'll see. Just means that another 5% I'll see Cetra instead of 1%. The only way you're seeing Cetra is in Warhammer Legends, I'm sorry. Painting 3rd box of Demonettes? Nice. I saw the ones that you sent me as well on Twitter. They were very cool, so I appreciate that. Yeah, Cetra's dead. Cetra's completely cock and dead. Warhammer Legends will let him play, but he won't be in match play, he'll just be in open play. So you can look forward to using Cetra that way, if you like. Maybe. Kinda. Take what you can get, I guess. And I want to get started on this Vanguard Hunter before I get too distracted, so I can just paint while we talk. Second, actually. Oh, since one of the daughters came. Okay, yeah, I remember. Yeah, you sent me the converted daughter Demonettes. Magnus did a lot wrong. Yes, but he didn't do everything wrong. Magnus did make mistakes. Like, I'm not a Magnus apologist. I'm a Magnus fan, but I'm not a Magnus apologist. There is a very big difference. And please, I've got water in this pot. Nuts. There's a bit. Right, just give me a second. I need to put a bit of water in my pot. I'll be... Tomb Kings are a sad tale. Yep, like I said, 5%. Yep. Just give me a second to put some water in my pot. Lord Archaon touches upon his view of godhood of the Horned Rat. Yeah, because the Horned Rat... Yeah, I'll go back to that in a minute. Yes, I've got Stevie Wonder in my head, deal with it. Yeah, because if I remember correctly, the Horned Rat tried to give Archaon his blessing and Archaon said completely no. Or the Horned Rat just refused. I forget what the exact details are, I haven't looked too much into the Ever-Chosen. Did any Primarch not make a mistake? No. Every single Primarch made mistakes. Come on. The Primarchs being perfect is just... No. The Primarchs would be incredibly boring if they were just perfect. They would be incredibly boring. Alfarius, debatable. Like, Alfarius made himself a lot of it. Like, he made enemies amongst the other Primarchs, which was probably not the wisest thing he could have done. I don't know. I don't think Alfarius made as many mistakes, but I don't think he was perfect. I really don't. I don't think anyone was. My God, this paint's practically dry. I sincerely hope I have enough paint to get this model done. If I don't have enough paint to get this model done, I'm going to be so frustrated. C40K Theories video on the Skaven today. That was a homebrew. I don't always watch the homebrew videos, I'll be honest. I remember narrating one. This is extremely watery. I've narrated a homebrew video before, but I don't always watch them. I'm afraid. So no, I didn't see. I did see it, but I didn't sit down and watch it. Type see it. I basically told the horn rat to back down. Yeah, this is not going to work, is it? Well, this is frustrating. CNL on me. Should we yes? Actually, input blue sediment. Would Spirit Stone Blue be good for Alpha Legion? I don't know what Spirit Stone Blue is. I'm not that good at paints. Hoping Ogre Armor is on its way. Yeah, Destruction needs some love. I said that in my Adnet Deepkin video. Oh, the Destruction guys just need more. There's not enough paint in here. Yeah, there's not enough paint in here. It's all gone. It's either dry or it's too watery to use. Who's worse, Erebus or Corferin? Probably Corferin, but not by much. Because like Corferin was horrendous to Lorgar, but Erebus is just prime arsehole. And I don't have enough paint to do anything with the black armor on this model. The blue gem paint, that whoosh. I barely know the names of paints. I barely know them. I hardly know the paints. I know what paints I own. That's about it. And this paint, by the way, is going in the bin. I want to paint the other colours, just not the black. Yeah, I suppose I could do that. I'll just paint everything but the black. Because I can. Because I don't want to leave this model completely grey any longer. I just want to try and get some colour on it, and then I'll do the black armour tomorrow night or something. Or on another stream. Thoughts which Riptide variant you like the most? Rules, lore, cool factor. I've always gone Ion in the past. Like, I've always preferred Ion to Burst. But I don't know. I don't know about... I think both of them are very... probably... I think the Burst is probably the better one rules-wise. A tad. But I don't know about everything else. Like, Burst is probably the better rules gun. Lore-wise, I don't think I really think there's much of a care between the two. Rule of cool, well, Ovesa has Ion, I'm kind of biased. So yeah, is there anything else really news? I know that the Necrons have been getting their, what do you call it? Their, is this supposed to be red or blue? This guy has a sword, it's red. Yeah, the Necrons have been getting their Dynasty rules shown off this week. It just sort of slipped under people's radar because of the whole Adepticon business. I know about that. Other than that, I think it's been quite a quiet week, other than of course everything that went on at Adepticon, aka the day the internet broke because Plastic Sisters of Battle got announced. So did you like the new Warlord? I don't think it's a Warlord. I think it's way too small to be a Warlord. Like, looking at it next to two Armiger Warglaves, like, it's only about 1.5, maybe 1 and a bit more than a half Armigers tall, and the Armigers are the baby knights. So I think that's just a more powerful knight variant. I don't think it's an actual Warlord, even if it looks kind of like one. What am I painting? I am currently painting a Vanguard Hunter for my Stormcast Eternals, the last of my Vanguard Hunters actually. Unfortunately, my black paint has actually gone to pot, so I can't use it, so I can't actually paint his armour, so I'm just painting all the other details while I've got the time. And the thought process to do it while I'm thinking about it, really. Do we have a release date for the Necrons Codex? It will probably be next week. Probably be next weekend. Only half a pot of Druki Violet left. That damn chariot base. Yeah, when you actually start working on something that uses a lot of one colour, you really do burn through. I think I'm onto my... This will be my... Not my third full pot, but the second pot of Abaddon Black I think I've bought in France. Like, I've got through a lot of Abaddon Black while I've been here for this Stormcast army. I really have. It is a knight, not a titan. It's just what I'm group on WhatsApp are calling it. Okay. Well, I get why you... I get the Warlord imagery, I do. Obviously, it's way too small to be a Warlord. I mean, if you want to call it the Baby Warlord, you can. We'll see what its official name is. I hope it's not anything stupid. But yeah, it looks great. I have to say, that model does look great. And it's good to see the Knights getting a Codex. It wasn't one I was expecting, but then with Forgebane, you kind of should have... I should have kind of expected it. This weekend is pre-order, next week they're out. That makes sense. Castellan Knight. I thought the Knight Castellan was something else. I can't remember. It's been a while since I did the lore on the Imperial Knights. It's been too long. I'd have to go back and double check. Personal feelings on Necrons. Fine. Like, not my favourite race, but fine as a faction. Some intrigue in their plot. Some fun characters like Zandrek and Anrakir and Orican have their quirks. Not my favourites, obviously. Had a go playing them for a bit. Not really my sort of style, because I quite like speedy armies. Yeah, I quite like fast armies. I don't mind about durability, but the Necrons just weren't my cup of tea, so I got rid of them quite quickly. It will forever be the Baby Knight. That will be the internet's name for the Armiger Warglaive, and I think they just have to kind of accept that. But yeah, it is nice to see them get the Codex, although it's always annoying when a bunch of new stuff about as a ton of lore gets put into a Codex. And you're like, damn it, I've already made a video on these guys. I can't really afford to make it a full addendum or a redux. It's too soon. It's like, damn it. Like when they announced Gilliman in the downtime between me making my lore video on the Ultramarines and the lore video on the Ultramarines Legion coming out, Gilliman was announced / leaked in the period between the two, so I couldn't add it to the script. It was really frustrating. Trying to get to Rise using meme hashtags. I'm alright, thank you. Just getting by, really. Just seeing out this uni year now. Like I'm kind of in a position where I'd be quite happy getting back to Manchester and just getting back into the regular rhythm. Just kind of done with the place now, kind of. Favourite Primarch? Obviously are we talking models or are we talking lore? Because if it's lore, it's obviously Magnus. If it's model... Magnus, I've got bias because I own that model and I've actually worked on it. But then again, there are some really good models in that character series. Me when I know things. Alpharius is best Primarch because every Primarch is Alpharius. No, that's just a dead meme. reckon chaos is pushed aside? What do you mean chaos is pushed aside? By what? For what? What are you in reference to there? Yes, the Alpharis meme will likely never die. Frustrating as that is. Got all the red? I always miss details, so I just want to make sure I get this right before I put the paint in the pot. Put the brush in the pot, I should say. Yeah, got it all. There's Forge World Beats because 30's rules got me thinking that we might get new Imperial armor books at some point. I think we might. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be their top priority at any rate. The new Knights for Imperial Army. True, there is no Chaos Knight. There's no Traitor Chaos. There's not really many Chaos Knight codex. Maybe if we get a Dark Mechanicum codex someday, that will redress that a tad. I don't know. We'll see. Best 40k book you've read, listened to lately? The Devastation of Baal. If we're talking lately, it has to be The Devastation of Baal. Most recent read of an actual book, because I don't really get a chance to buy the books and read them. But Devastation of Baal was excellent. Devastation of Baal was absolutely excellent. Yes, Alpharis is dead. Well, Alpharis is almost certainly dead. We're not like 100,000%, but we're pretty sure Alpharis is dead, yeah. Silver? Yeah, I'll do the silver. Silver, grey, gold. Yeah, I'll do the gold last, and I just need to fix up. When we get the black tomorrow, we can fix this model up. And then I've done all my Vanguard Hunters, which will be lovely. What would your homebrew army be? I'm very bad at homebrew. Like, I love the lore, but I'm terrible at writing it. A friend would have bought a lot of the new Knights deck. I was like, yeah, well, of course you would. Like, I get it. Chaos Knights would be fun, and it would be interesting to see if we get a Dark Mechanicum Codex or something, whether there is such a thing as Chaos Knights as a faction. We'll see. In all seriousness, I'm building Alpha Legion right now. Hooray for early days off work. And I got to say, Coils of the Hydra? Cores of the Hydra. Is that a... sorry, you've lost me on what the Cores of the Hydra is. I'm guessing it's a stratagem if you're talking about it, that you're building them. So it sounds like it's an army thing rather than a book, because I know the book was Sons of the Hydra. Where's my silver? That one. Yeah. Next loyalist Primarch is Omegon. Unlikely. Extremely unlikely. That's all I'm going to say about that. Extremely unlikely. Does Vulcan live? Vulcan is probably alive, yes. We can't confirm it, but he's almost certainly alive. The Rite of War. Yeah, I thought it might be their Rite of War, though I'd completely forgotten it was called Rites of War. Yeah, that makes sense. I can't remember what the Thousand Suns one is, but it is extremely Psychic heavy. Like, your Warlord must be Magnus, Ahriman, or a level 3 or above Psyker. Your Terminators, your Sekhmet Terminators become troops. It's really brutal. I don't know how powerful it is, but it's extremely brutal. What was it called? I could probably go and look it up. If I wasn't painting, I could go and look it up. Might do that in a minute, actually. Remind me to go and look up the Rite of War for the Thousand Suns. Thoughts on Adepticon? I've got a video coming out on Monday, so I'll be brief here. Idneth looked pretty good, not sure about the Eel Cavalry. Generally, though, look great. Very intrigued. Are they better than the Daughters of Cain on looks-wise? I don't know. Need to have a read of their lore, I suspect. As for everything else, Sisters, just great that we're seeing it. Knights make sense for Forgebane, Harlequins make sense for Yanari. Deathwatch is an interesting pick. Orcs and Space Wolf players can be a tiny bit salty. The Age of Sigmar trading card game could be fun. The fact that we're getting the rules to bring back the fantasy crowd to AOS is great, though not seeing it for match play, which is fine, I suppose. And a bunch of stuff is going on made to order to help with that, which is lovely. So, yeah, generally a very good Adepticon. Basically, it's a unique unit with a legend as a starter's tag, aka anything but Gal Vorback, and gain the Alpha Legion's rules over the actual Legion. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. What are you complaining about? Not bloody cannon now. How did Gilliman talk to the Emperor? We're not sure. It might have been... It's probably telepathic. I'm guessing that either the Emperor just shouted at Gilliman using his psychic powers, or they had an actual telepathic conversation. One of the two. He didn't, or he did. So I'll just interpret it. Yeah, it's very loosely stated with the conversation, whether it was truly a conversation or if it was just a bit of a rant from the Emperor. Zinchiness is showing. Internet's dying. Right, I see. As you said non-canon, I was like, hang on, what did I say wrong this time? Did I say something stupid that offended someone on the internet? Oh dear. And now we descend into meme territory. Isn't it that Alpharius is dead and Omegon might be dead? That's the commonly accepted version of events, yes. Alpharius is believed to have died on Pluto at the hands of Rogal Dawn, and Omegon is believed potentially to have died on Escrador at the hands of Robert Gilliman. Thinking either getting Tyrant Siege Terminators from Iron Warriors, the Templar Brother from the Imperial Fist, or the Dark Furies from the Raven Guard. Fair enough. That's definitely options. I mean, if you're taking from the Thousand Suns, the Sekhmet Terminators are brutal because they're level 2 Psychers and they're also in Cataphractii armor, so they hit like they are incredibly tough and they can hit like a brick because they can take Biomancy or Pyromancy. One of the two is dead and the other one is almost certainly dead. Pretty much, yeah. It could be that Omegon died on Pluto and Alpharius probably died on Escrador. It could be either way around, but the most commonly accepted version of events is Omegon on Escrador, Alpharius on Pluto. Or Hydra, I should say, not Pluto itself. Hydra. Do you believe in the 3 heads of the Hydra, aka there's a 3rd Alpha Legion Primarch? Personally, no. I don't see it. Like, that would be something they wouldn't introduce that as a 40k concept. They'd introduce that as a 30k concept when they covered the Alpha Legion's background, and they didn't. So I personally do not believe it. But if they run with it and they make it work, then I'm willing to see how it pans out. Is there a page you have for your Tau character using the Adeptus Podcasters? I have made a lore video about him, yes. It's in my 40k Stories playlist. I think under the Storyteller. It should be in the 40k Stories playlist. If it isn't, then I apologise, but you could probably just search Tactica Imperialis, the Storyteller lore or something, and you get it. It's not great lore, it's terrible homebrew, but it does exist if you really want to go and find it. And occurs Torture Vulcan in pretty much every way imaginable. I think one of his main favourite methods was setting Vulcan a challenge to save someone, but always making it so he failed. As an attempt to try and break his mind that he couldn't save anyone. He was powerless. I think that was one of the methods that Kurz used. The final one was about hunting down Dawnbringer, which Vulcan then used to smash Kurz in the face and teleport himself out, which was when he appeared above Macragge. That's an interesting way of looking at it. Like I said, I've not really looked too hard into it because, well, I just haven't. But I don't buy into this 3 Primarch thing for sure. I certainly don't buy into that. Then there's a little bit of silver on here. How can the Imperium possibly survive in the future? I suppose they have slam armor, but with the Necrons and Tyranids. But the Imperium are supposed to seem screwed. It's that 5 minutes to midnight thing. I mean, they now have a bit of hope because they have Guilliman. But the whole point is the Imperium and humanity is utterly boned and is just hanging in there. Like, it's not supposed to be like, oh yeah, we'll easily just ride this out and we'll be fine. It's supposed to be dark. It's supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be apocalyptic. That's kind of the point. I think the Hydra symbol represents Legion as a whole. You can't kill one without more. Yeah, the Hydra symbol is like, it represented the fact that they would strike from multiple angles as well, because their original stratagem would be to like strike from every angle, within, without, and all around. They were almost impossible to keep a track on. So that was, I think, part of it as well. Have you seen the new Horde or Battlesuit robot thing? I did see it. We're not sure what it is. It could just be a conversion. I need to stress that. It's orcs. It could be a conversion. Like, they're good enough, the design team, to make a good enough conversion. You can't rule that out. You cannot rule out it being a conversion. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. But if it is actually a new model, it looks ridiculously cool. Sometimes it feels like the Imperium are unbeatable. Yeah, like if they commit their forces to a battle, then they can utterly screw you. Like, they've got the power to crush almost anything in their path. Like the Tau, for example, would be utterly crushed if the Imperium turned against them, like fully committed to taking them out. But the Imperium can't take them out, which is why the Tau are such a threat. Orcs is good, boy. Yeah, the Orcs are awesome. The Orcs are my first ever army in 40k, so yeah. Is it portable? It's Gazcult. Very unlikely. It looked way too big to be a single character model. Like, even the Beast wouldn't be that tall, because, like, I don't know. No, I don't see it. I really don't. Like, it looked way too mechanical. Looked far too mechanical to be anything like that. I'm just going to wait and see with it. In all honesty, I think just wait and see if it is a conversion. It looks amazing. It could just be like a Mega Dread conversion. But if it is a new model, then it will be amazing to work on. I'll say that. Great. The Imperium is surviving because of all the external enemies. Without them, the Imperium would implode in civil war and destroy itself. That's an interesting counterpoint. Like, the Imperium needs a common goal. Most of the worlds, the thing is, most of the worlds are completely fine. There's a few that are problematic, and you've got the political intrigue of the Senatorum, yes. But would it tear itself apart without an enemy to fight? Eventually, yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Look like a Dread Knight conversion. It might well be. That's just it. We just don't know what it is at the moment, so I don't want to speculate too hard. Need to go. Internet's going to throw. Fair enough. See ya. Believe the Necrons might ally with the Tau? No. the chance of the Necrons, the tower, insignificant to the Necrons. They're one race in pretty much one corner of the galaxy. Why would the Necrons even begin to give a crap? Like, if they were found to be a suitable candidate for biotransference, they'd just abduct them en masse. That's just what the Necrons would do. They just abduct them en masse. Imperium and Eldar and Tau and Necrons versus everybody, that is what it should be. Yeah, but then that doesn't... That's just more a bit dull. Right? It's just, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. Yawn. I actually think Tau have expanded their borders. They have, yes, they have. But they're still, compared to the Imperium as a potential ally, they are nobody. They're a tiny, tiny race compared to humanity, for example. Can't wait for the Silent King to make an appearance. Maybe it's a model. Yeah, a Silent King model would have been lovely. Like, I was hoping we might even get it with this Codex release, but no, not to be. I do hope we get a Silent King model though. I do. That would be very, very cool. Have you keeping up with the Necron spoilers hype train? Kinda. Like, I've kept track of most of them. I haven't seen today's actually because I've been busy with other things, but I've sort of kept up enough that I'm aware of how they're going to operate. I don't know quite how powerful they're going to be, but I've sort of roughly kept up. Then again, I'm very bad at reading power levels, so I'm not the person to ask on that either. Vulcan had a vision for the Emperor when he was in a maze built by Kurz. The Emperor told Vulcan he would look over his sons wherever he can. Okay. Source and significance? Because that vision is just like, what do you do? That doesn't really signify anything so much. I don't know. I fail to see the massive significance behind that. Because that's exactly what the Emperor does. He just watches over the Imperium, sort of. A small part of the Necrons were kidnapped out because only a few were trying to get out. Yeah, biotransference isn't a thing for everybody. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Do you believe the old ones will become important? No. Am I the only one who doesn't like the tusks on the Chaos Terminator helmets? I think that's a matter of opinion. I personally don't mind them. I mean, it makes them distinct, more distinct from the Loyalist Terminators in all their configurations. So I don't mind it so much. Still be fun, even though they're working together. The other tank and undermine the Necrons. And like, I don't know. Like, it's the same with Age of Sigmar. Like, you've got the Grand Alliance of like everybody who isn't destruction, chaos, and death. And it's like, yeah, great, but where's the backstabbing? Where's the intrigue? You don't see it quite the same. Like, the Daughters of Cain are intriguing because they're kind of on their own. They're in the Grand Alliance, but they're also kind of on their own, doing their own thing, and that gives them a level of intrigue. I think that might help to explain it as well. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want that sort of a situation for the Imperium and the 40k races. Necrons will be tier 1.5, but most likely tier 2. 3 good army types, melee, backline, and mid-range. Isn't that like almost every army? Like, yeah, I don't know if melee crons will be actually good with the Novok dynasty. I think it might be a stretch to say melee Krons is going to be good, but it's certainly going to be plausible, kind of like a Farsight army. Robbie should really multiply by 10 the size of the first one he does. You realise why the Codex Astartes was written in the first place, right? It was written for exactly the reason that no one would wield the power of a legion or equivalent again because the Horus Heresy had just happened. I honestly think, like, sure, if he wants to use this time now to expand the chapters a bit and rework the Codex, fine, but don't go too mad, because otherwise you're basically just rebuilding the legions, and look how well that went last time. Dang. Just got the goal to do, and then that model's basically as done as it can be. Mid-range with Mefrit, that added AP is seriously powerful, been playtesting. Yeah, mid-range has always been Necrons' sort of thing. They can take a hit, so they don't have to stand right at the back, and their range is usually about 24. So they're not a long-range army like Guard and Tau can be. They are a mid-range army with durability. Sort of like the tough version of Tyranids, who make up for that by having big monsters and lots of infantry. The Necrons are generally model per model much tougher. It's a similar sort of idea. They can do melee, kinda. Not as well as the Tyranids, but they can kinda. Why would a Farsight army be plausible? They have an absolutely useless trait. Look. Yeah, okay. Farsight army might be utter garbage. It might suck. But they've given us a few tools for us to use it. And that's enough. Like, I don't know. I want the Farsight army to work. So I'm definitely biased. I don't know. Just the first founding chapters of the 10,000, they get a bit more offensive punching power. But then that's favoritism. That's blatant favoritism. And also still goes, like, that's not the way I don't think Guillermo would operate. It's like, yeah, you get more Marines, and you get more Marines, you don't get more Marines. That's just being biased and unfair. Played a melee army today for fun, using both the Codex and the strategies that we know, and it's really good. What were you against? I have to ask. 20 warriors can take a paladin squad. Ouch. The adept with Tesla is what I'm going to pump up. Yeah, maybe. Do Necrons have rules that they don't have to take morale tests ever? No, they're just all leadership 10. They're just all leadership 10 to a soulless robot. Got 20 people here listening to me ramble on about nothing. It's kind of nice. The whole Tower Codex was really bad. I want it to work. Didn't spend 250 quid on an army not to play it, but I really don't think I'll enjoy myself with the really bland Codex. Maybe. That was the problem that Tau had, is that they were just bland before the Codex. They were lacking in flavour, and they were also lacking in punch. Now they've got a bit more punch, and I was hoping they'd have a bit more flavour, but I don't know. I haven't played them myself. We'll have to see. It's a shame that it feels like a disappointment for you, but I hope that that's just an isolated case, and it's not the case for everybody. It's Chaos... It was Chaos Soup, okay, not top tier. Chaos Guard, Nine Wars, okay. So, if you run right through them, then that's got to say something. Okay, it looks like people are having a debate now that I'm just going to let them have, because they know what they're talking about, and I don't. So I'm just going to paint for a bit while the chat has an argument. The Emperor talking to Vulcan in a maze was a bromance moment. It symbolized the relationship with the Emperor and the Primarchs. What relationship? They didn't have one. To have us Necrons around when you get back home, we'll see. I think our main Necrons player is playing a lot less Necrons these days. So I'll have to see. I mean, I'll still get my arse absolutely handed to me. I have no doubt about that. Will the Mechanicus model range expand after the recent Necron incursion? No, they've had their model range now, and I mean they've got the Armiger Warglaves, which I suppose kind of counts, which can be added to like the Questor Mechanicus, but no, the Mechanicus have had their codex now, so I don't think they're going to be getting anything for a while. Sorry, just going to be a bit precise at this bit because I'm painting over a section I've already painted. How many promos would it take to beat Slime Arbo arm wrestling? 1. Thoughts on getting a broadside just to pop Tactica? I mean, I have 2 broadsides. One missile and one that flips between rail and missile. It probably usually is rail. Like, I like broadsides. I'm biased, but I like broadsides. Are they better than hammerheads? I don't know. Are they better than crisis suits between infusion? I don't know. But I quite like broadsides. I'm kind of biased. And they're extremely tough. 2 up saves, 6 wounds, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Angron, okay. Yeah. Demons have a few leadership minus things, so was wondering. That's the Necron thing, yeah. The Emperor didn't have a relationship. Not really, no. Like, the way the Emperor sort of interacted with the Primarchs, for the most part, was not a lot. I don't have his source on every single Primarch, but he was not the best with many of them. He wasn't great, really. With the odd one, he might have struck up a bit of a rapport. Maybe the ones he had to compete with, or whatever. Or the ones he knew the longest, but for the most part, not particularly. You still having a bloody Slime Arbo wrestling argument? God damn it. Slash and Light Lord sure might be annoying, but I found most people running either Black Legion or World Eaters. Is that regarding Chaos as a faction? It's hard to keep up. Who's talking about what? Chaos is off. You're talking about the leadership minus things, yeah. It's never going to be a huge problem for Necrons unless you do massive damage to them because they are... Well, they're sticky and they have good leadership. Trying to make them flee is a nightmare. You're probably only going to get like 1 or 2, even with all the chicanery in the world. You're probably only going to get 1 or 2 to run on your good days. Yeah, I don't really know what the people generally run for Chaos. best person to pester about that is always going to be Alexa. I mean, she's at Adepticon now, so she might be seeing like what most Chaos players are running. Might be a good person to ask, because I'm certainly completely out of the loop. If it involves the word meta, I'm completely unaware of it. Each founding chapter of one character is sent to Primaris. Who would it be in your opinion? Pedro Cantor for the Crimson Fists, though they're not technically first founding. Sicarius might be an interesting one. You could pretty much pick any Blood Angel you wanted. But yeah, your call. I don't know. Pedro Cantor is like the most obvious Primaris choice of all of them. Whether they do that, I don't know. I don't think so. Well, things like the idea of like Necron Fear is sort of like that they're, particularly with like the Necron Warriors, it's like a shred of their civilian personality, their life they used to be, sort of slips, their programming cracks, and so their civilian self breaks through, and so they panic. I think. At least I think that's what it said in 3rd edition. They could have completely retconned that. Sort of like a crack in the programming. If I remember right. Slimarvo could not beat Primarch. I'm sorry, just nope. Absolute nope. What was the most one-sided fight that has ever been in a battle in lore? To be fair, a lot of the fights in the Great Crusade were ridiculously one-sided. Wherever the legions got involved, they could basically almost curb stomp anybody. I don't know about the most one-sided. I mean, I came across the recent one with the Minotaurs and the Custodes and the Mechanicus going and smashing some people. That would have been pretty one-sided, I suspect, because of the amount of forces the Imperium had committed to it. I don't know on that one. I don't know. It's hard to say. Given how Cantor runs the first company, all non-Primaris right now, as there are no Primaris veterans, but not a little large figure in the camp. Maybe. That's it. Like, of all the big characters I know, Cantor is the most likely because the Crimson Fists really quite like Primaris Marines. I'm not saying it's the best candidate full stop, but Cantor is a good candidate of everyone. He's a good candidate. I got all the gold on the upper body. Yes. Minotaurs versus Lamenters. Yeah, the Minotaurs absolutely ruined anyone they fought in the Badab War. The Carcharodons did as well. They utterly ruined whoever they faced, and yeah. The whole Badab War itself was not that one-sided. There was a lot of fights that went divisively one way or another. But some of the fights were particularly weren't all one-sided. For in mind, it still took the Imperium the best part of the decade, maybe over a decade. Well, it took more than half a decade to take the Badab system back. That should tell you a lot about how not entirely one-sided the war was. It took them a while. Oh, Huron did things wrong. Not everything. Like, some of the things he did, you might say were for noble reasons. But he made mistakes. He definitely made mistakes. Remember Empire, Lion fights a Space Wolf Sergeant in an honor duel. Yeah, that should say a lot. What kind of weaponry do you think the Necrons have up their sleeve that they used in the War in Heaven? Well, the thing is that the War of Heaven has been practically forgotten, which is kind of the point. Like, the War in Heaven is kind of like the Dark Age of technology. It's just incredibly powerful, utterly terrifying, but they don't know how to use it anymore. They've forgotten about it. They'll have some stuff. Yes, I don't know quite what, because, well, it's the War in Heaven. It was millions of years ago. And those details of that war are incredibly patchy. But yeah. Love to see Forge World do more with their chapters. Yeah, more love for the Minotaurs, the Red Scorpions, the Carcharodons, the Death Corps, if we're going to expand on just stuff like that. They could do some really cool stuff if they get time. I agree. But Forge World probably has a fair bit of their time occupied at the moment with the Horus Heresy series. That's got to be considered. And keeping the rules up to date for 8th edition, which has got to be considered as well. And Warhammer Forge, or whatever they call the AOS equivalent to Forge World, is a thing. So yes, it would be great cool, yeah. Some War in Heaven weapons are used, but a lot less regularly. Yeah, they're certainly not going to be common. Certainly they're not going to be common. Is my window open? Did I close it? Oh, my window is still slightly open. So I suppose it just drifted shut. Forgot to do the shoulder pad. I always forget to do the gold on the shoulder pad. Like the Nids and the Necron Overlord blows up a system because Nids. Well, to be fair, the Tyranids pose the biggest threat to the Necrons of them all. That's the opinion. I'm not making that up. That's what the Silent King believes. He thinks the Tyranids are the threat to end all threats, like to the Necrons, particularly to the Necrons, but to pretty much everything. So that's why the Silent King came back in the first place, was to try and stop the Tyranids. Which Space Marine Legion will be the best at dealing with the Tau? I don't know. All of them. Probably the Thousand Suns, because absolutely no psychic defense whatsoever. Or the Death Guard, perhaps. What did you miss? Not much. Just little bits, really. It'll just be bits and bobs of discussion. If we're not on a particular, if we're not doing the news, I can discuss a bit about my Adepticon thoughts by all means, or I can go into detail about any of the stuff that came out. But because I've got my video coming out on Monday, I don't just want to do the entire stream tonight, giving away Monday's video. That's basically the only reason. I just want to be careful. It's why I'm not doing a full breakdown of the Ideneth models here, because I did it in the video that's coming out on Monday. It's like, I'm happy to talk about it, but it's just not the same. Silent King thinks Nids are the worst, Trazen thinks it's Chaos. They're both right, and they're both right, but the difference with Chaos is Chaos can't really be beaten unless humanity dies and the Eldari die. It's like, beating Chaos is an extinction level event. Beating the Tyranids is just everybody works together for a period of time. The Forge World Turin has silly AP5 melee weapon that falls abundance of reroll successful invulns. Ow. Remind me never to face that. World Eaters smash. Alpha Legion go get the Aetheros a good old fashioned prison shank. There's many ways they could do it. Like the Imperium would, if the Imperium ran across the town in the Great Crusade, they'd utterly crush them. That has to be made a point that no matter what happens, if the Imperium in the Great Crusade ran across the town, they would have utterly smashed them. I know you're here for the bit where I talked about Adepticon, but like I haven't gone into a huge amount on Adepticon because of Monday. That's all. That's all I was saying. There, that's as much paint as I can really put on this model at this moment in time. for the simple reason of I don't have a black paint. You'd go with the relevance to question, not sure, but yes, of the podcast trio, I am that person, yes. Given the time to release the scenes, they're not going to do sisters until people said in the survey. Well, no, we're not going to. They'll probably get a codex when they come out, perhaps. Maybe they'll get a codex, but no, they can't get a codex, yeah. They'll have to get their codex when they get their models. They'll get them together, same as the Custodes did. So, sorry, you might have to wait and use the index for a while longer, but you're actually going to get an army. Bear that in mind. Targeting thinks the Nins are the biggest threat than orcs, the chaos, then orcs, then chaos, because it thinks that all that needs to be done is making more pylons, and that's super easy for the Necrons to do. Yeah, kinda. -5 sounds good. Well, you would say that. Because -5 is effectively ignores all armor, because you need a 1+ save, or a buff on your save to not be completely screwed by it. Yeah, sorry. I need to put an army together for tomorrow, actually. So I might just bring my army along and see if I can get a game in, because those guys are coming. I don't know if I'll get a cheeky bat rap, but I might get a video out of it. Tesla with -1 is amazing. Yeah, Tesla, anything with rend on Tesla is really quite scary. Because Tesla can just go off. I've seen Tesla go off without AP, so yeah. Read the Arsenal Georgia this week, and yeah, Blackstone has been in the lore this whole time. Oh yeah, like, Blackstone's nothing new, but we've got more details on it, which is good. How did the Fallen get so powerful? The gathered Fallen the size of a legion that could bring the entire galaxy to heel. Well, to be fair, it was half a legion. Like, the Dark Angels were, what, between 60 and 100,000, maybe a little bit more? So if roughly half of them go rogue, and there are no legions anymore, they could do some serious damage if they all unified and worked together. They won't, because they're just not like that, but they could. So how they got so powerful, shenanigans. The answer is always shenanigans. Can't really say much more than that, it's always shenanigans. I'm just going to take a quick break for a second, get a drink and stuff, and then we'll have an hour. I might go over I might do the Necrons, since I don't talk about those in Monday's video. I might do a little discussion of the Necron news here, and then we'll see how we go. So I'll be right back. And we're back. That was a slightly longer break than I usually take, but we're back. So where were we? The chat was lacking in Dakar. Sure. Hope the Fallen get a codex. It's possible. I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. Maybe have them like the Officio Assassinorum Elite single man teams. What are you in reference to? Probably the Fallen. No, there'd have to be an army. Actual an army. Is it possible that Luther recruited tank drivers and some Terminators to his side? Yeah, he could have recruited easily like vehicles. He could have easily just taken vehicles, but the difference is not what he recruited, it's whatever was scattered when everything went to crap on Caliban. So he might have the Fallen might have access to people who can drive a tank and who can pilot Terminator on, but they might not have had it with them at the time. It's hard to know. Luther model when that would have to be if they ever do it, but I don't know, we'll have to see. Maybe when Lion gets his model. Is there a Forge World Luther model? No, there are no Dark Angels Forge World models yet because they don't have their Legion rules as far as I'm aware. I think we get, are they in Book 8? They might be in Book 8. There's certainly not a Forge World Luther model or a Lion model, that's for sure. Right, I'm gonna get the news up a little bit, and we'll do some Necron discussion, shall we? Just because we can, so let's. Alright, good. So I've got everything set up now, so I can just pop over. We can discuss the dynasty rules if we want to. Kurz hated Vulcan because Kurz never had visions of Vulcan. I don't remember seeing that as a particular statement. If it possible, yes. Is it true? I'd have to go and do the reading for myself or find a source because, well, sources matter. It's entirely possible there were Fallen that weren't on Caliban. Yes, there were actually, maybe, but the majority will have been there, and then we don't know what would have happened to them after the fall of Caliban when the Fallen was cast and Luther went missing. And nobody put James Bond in my head, I just sort of had it in my head. Not gonna lie, I'm really glad I picked up Necrons for my second army. Going out to getting stale. You swapped one brand of silver for another, but yes, Necrons are a very different flavour to Grey Knights. That's very, very true. The Dark Angels have 2 rights and 1 Legion rule. And the Legion rule is if they have less units at the end of the game, and you give D3 points to your opponent. Which book is that in? 6? Book 6? I don't know. That doesn't sound like any rules I know. It might be in Book 6, but then if the Dark Angels have Legion rules, why doesn't Lion have rules? Because that's sort of how it works, is when a Legion gets its rules, the Primarch comes along with it, even if the Primarch doesn't have a model yet. So if that were true, we'd have rules for Lion, and we don't. Like that, I've using leftover Necromunda for Chaos Cultists even more, since War George was releasing weapon upgrade kits for Escher. Very true. What you've missed primarily is me doing a bit of painting and just some random ramblings. We're about to do the news. I'm not going to be discussing Adepticon, but I want to discuss the Necrons since they're obviously coming very soon. I want to discuss those here, and then on Monday we'll have my Adepticon video coming out. And I've got something in the corner of my eye and it's really, really bugging me. Anyway, let's hop over. 3, 2, 1, bang. Lovely. So, chat's a little bit smaller for me now, so we'll see what we can do. So, start off with the Sautek dynasty. Relentless advance. If a unit with this code advances, it treats all ranged weapons as assault weapons until the end of turn, including heavies. In addition, if it advances turn, it does not suffer the hit for the hit penalty for moving and firing a heavy weapon. This is pretty good. It'll allow you to get to that mid-range position that Necrons quite like. And it will also allow you, if you start too far forward or are playing an ambush mission, to be able to fall back and fire at full power. So it's quite useful. Kurz hated Vulcan because to Kurz, Vulcan is what he hates and what to be at the same time. And all legions have rules since book 1. Not sure when the rights came out. The legions... Dacacrons, that's kind of a word for it. Then we get a quick look at Tomb Blades. So they have a 14-inch move and have the evasion engrams rule. Your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls that target this unit in the shooting phase, which is really, really nice because Tomb Blades are slightly flimsy. Tap does 5 2 wounds and a 4-up save. That's not bad, but trust me, it's nothing super stellar. Catacomb Command Barge. This was always sort of a why would you take this over the Annihilation Barge thing in the past. So let's have a look. Hyperlogical Strategist for the Celtic. Once per battle, you can roll a single hit, wound, damage, or you'll hit, wound, or damage roll for your warlord. In addition, if your army is battleforged and your warlord is on the battlefield, roll a d6 each time you send a command point on a 5 points. On a 5+, that command point is refunded. So that's a semi-useful warlord trait for getting a critical 2+, or a Hail Mary 5+ invulnerable save. I don't know. And the refunding command points could be useful, but you'll have to be doing it a lot. So you'll need to be having an army with a lot of command points in order to justify getting the refunds and getting it consistently. So Resurrection Protocols. When a Necron character from your army, excluding Trajan or Catan shards, is slain, at the end of the phase, roll a d6 on a 4+, return them to their previous position more than 1 inch from any enemy models with 1 wound remaining. So your warlord, all your characters effectively, if you have the command points, have +1 wound and are guaranteed to live into have a 50-50 chance of living for another turn when they lose their final wound. So it's not the greatest thing to ever happen, but it's very, very powerful if, let's say, you've made a Hail Mary charge with the whatchamacallit, with like an Overlord or a Command Barge or a Destroyer Lord. You make a Hail Mary charge and you die. Well, now you could just pop up again. So let's say you're going for a long bomb Hail Mary charge, but you get shot in the face. Oh. Oh, I don't know what that's about. So yeah, you're going for a long bomb charge, but you get shot down in the shooting phase of your enemy. Well, now, all of a sudden, oh, I'm back. Now you need to charge me, or I'm going to get to complete my long bomb run. It's pretty powerful, but it's not super stellar. And yes, they did specify no double trading. Okay, that's fair enough. So that's the Celtic Dynasty and a little bit of other stuff. So are they the best? Probably not. They're an interesting, good all-rounder, I suspect. They'll be a good all-rounder, the Celtic. Tomb Blades look interesting. I've never been a huge fan of the Catacomb Command Barge. But yeah, interesting, but not my favourites. Then we have what is probably amongst the best of the set. That being, of course, the Mefrit Dynasty, who have some really powerful stuff going their way. Yeah, come on. That is what Scarabs are for? What? Oh, long bomb run charges. Yeah, I suppose. But like, let's say there's a land raider at the back of the board that's like nearly dead. I don't know. Yeah, all right, fair enough. I didn't consider Scarabs, but if a warlord gets sniped out as well, you consider it about like saving someone who gets sniped out. I don't know. I don't know why I picked up that cough now. It's really annoying. Hopefully it doesn't carry on. I might just talk a bit quieter. So, Mefrit Dynasty, Solar Fury. Each time a model with this code shoots an enemy unit within half range, the armor penetration of that weapon's attack is improved by 1. This is utterly crazy. So how do we put this? Oh yes, I have a model. I'm going to shoot you. If you get close, you're boned. So this encourages you to... What the hell? Don't know what that was about. This encourages you to get closer, to get up your enemy's face and blast them, or to use guns with extremely long range that can capitalize off this over a great distance. Both work. 5+2 wounded. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So yes, Solar Fury is a pretty powerful bloody code as long as you're willing to get close, but Necrons are tough enough to take it, so I think that's a good idea. So, Destroyers. Now, this is kind of silly. Look. G-dubs. On a reel. How did you manage to make some of the army's indexes utterly terrible? Because look at this patch for the Gauss Cannon. It goes from 2 shots, strength 5, to 3 shots, strength 6. And they got cheaper. That's just utterly silly. It's just utterly silly. And it's the same with the Riptide. The Riptide got a massive buff. The Dawnblade got a massive buff. The indices were just underpowered. For some armies, the indices were just stupidly underpowered. That's a huge buff for a points cut. And if you consider that they become AP4 at half range within 12 inches, they mentioned Terminators, they'll just be ripping things apart. And they've got a stratagem, which goes as follows. How about reroll hits and wound rolls in the shooting phase? Literally, 1 command point, reroll literally everything that isn't a damage roll. Screw you, enemy. I mean, it's not so good for Destroyer Lords, because they've got Staffs of Light, most as a ranged weapon. But with the Gauss Cannons and the heavy Gauss Cannons, that's going to hurt like hell. So the Pulse, Necron Stratagem, 1 command point. Pick an enemy unit that you are targeting, and they do not get cover. That's extremely powerful in the right position. There's only certain things that will be super powerful against, like things that get +2 to their cover save or something. But that's still pretty nasty. So hyped to use for Destroyers. Yeah, I don't blame you. Full Destroyer Corps, why not? I mean, I don't know if it would be viable, but then a faster army isn't viable, apparently, but I'm still going to do it. Go for it. Yeah, never took Destroyers. Well, maybe you have an excuse to now. Destroyer Lords, let's have a look. What do we got here? So, Void Reaper, melee weapon, strength 2+, unless vehicles in which it's strength 7. Rend of 4, damage of 3, that is insane. We don't know what I don't know what the War Scythe or the Void Scythe looks like typically, so how much of an improvement that is, I'm not sure, but that's still pretty powerful. I mean, a weapon that always wounds on 2+, has 4 rend and does 3 damage, is just really good. Entropic Strike, how about ignoring vulnerable saves for a combat phase? That's what, yeah, that's a combo. That's a really powerful combo. Also, realistically, you're putting a Void Scythe on a Destroyer Lord, unless you, yeah, but to Outriders and the Spearhead, that would work, wouldn't it? Yeah, Outrider Detachment, Spearhead Detachment, yeah, that would work, I think. Sneaky combo is Mephrit Warlord with their artifacts, so these are for the Mephrit. Add 6 inches to the maximum range of all assault weapons fired by your Warlord. In addition, you can shoot at enemy characters even if they're not the closest. Pretty crap. Until you consider maybe something like this, which is a 18-inch range, quote-unquote. Assault 3, Strength 6, AP 3, maybe 2. Maybe 4, damage 2 weapon that also functions a little bit in melee. And every time you roll a 6 to wound, you get a mortal wound on top. Pretty nasty combo for sniping out characters. That's a powerful combo. I don't know if it's the most powerful way of doing it, but it's pretty nasty. Combo breaker. Yeah, I don't know which one you're talking about, but yeah, that's a... the Relic SO, the Relic Staff of Light, yeah. Oh, on a Destroyer Lord. Ow, 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 ow. Yeah, that's a combo. That is indeed a monster combo. Next up, let's have a look. What have we got? We've got... I'm just walking through everything, seem only cute now. Yeah, Mephrit are going to be extremely powerful, I suspect. I really do think Mephrit are going to be pretty damn powerful. But now let's get the army that does the whole walking through everything gimmick. That being the Novok dynasty. And we get a look at the melee ones. So, awakened by a murder, they can reroll hit rolls in the fight phase if they charged, were charged, or performed a heroic intervention this turn. So first round of combat, you reroll to hit. That's pretty damn powerful. Obviously, you want to be comboing this with Counter-Attack Wraiths, Lich Guard, Flayed Ones, Destroyer Lords, things like that, more than you do with basic Necron Warriors. But it makes your Necron Warriors and your Immortals a not fun prospect to charge, even for a combat army like, say, Orcs or Tyranids. I mean, charging them is not fun in the first place, but with the you go, I go, well, actually no, it's charges fight first. But with the potential systems in place, that could be pretty nasty. And if you are doing it with a well put together army and you get the charge, yeah, that could hurt. That could definitely hurt. Flayed Wands. So, matching them can tackle even the toughest enemies thanks to rerolls to wound, and they can get rerolls to hit as well, obviously from the thing. And with disruption fields, they can get +1 strength for the fight phase. Or for 3 command points, fight for a second time. Okay. Destroyer Lord, 9 Scarabs, 4 Wraiths. I have the old ones with particle casters, Nightbringer as a shield. Well, Catan Shards are actually talked about today with the Nexus Dynasty, so we'll get to the Catan Shards a little bit later. So Flayed Ones, potentially, with massive unit, rerolling everything, is pretty powerful, but bear in mind their armor piercing is generally quite crap. So against infantry, yes, but against other stuff, no. And for that, you might want to consider Canoptech Wraiths, who again have received an absolutely massive buff. Just look at this. Look at this BS. They went from Rend 1 damage 1 to Rend 2 damage 2. And their other weapon went from 0-1 to, again, 2-2. What the hell is this power differential? Somewhere, somehow, someone misbalanced something. Either these are extremely overpowered, or the index was just utterly stupid. Oh, that's great to hear about the Catan. We'll get to that. 3 wounds, 3 Benville, toughness 5, and they've got defense repair subroutines. So 2 command points, gain reanimation protocols for a turn. That could be pretty nice too. Yep. So the Novok Dynasty, I don't think they're going to be the most powerful. I think that's kind of obvious. They're interesting as a concept. An all melee-oriented Necron faction is always fun because Lich Guard and Necrons and Wraith and Flayed Ones and Wraiths and Destroyer Lords will work. I suspect it'll be an interesting, fun combo. Is it the best? No. We don't know about the price difference on Wraiths. That's true. But bear in mind that the buff to the Destroyers came with a price cut, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Wraiths got a price cut too. So let's just make sure we're in the right place for the next one. And that is the Nearlark Dynasty. Nearlark? I'm not sure. To be fair, they had little experience when they wrote the indices. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that the indices had to be perfect, but the difference in the balance changes that they've made to the Tau and the Necrons is utterly crazy. And it's not like all the armies have had the same treatment. Like if all the armies got like a not great treatment in the first index, then why not just have, when as the codices come out, like why are they having to bring these armies up by so much to match the codices? Were they already massively underpowered? Hard to know. Lich Guard with a sword and a board is so good. I love how much I get to gush over my army right now. Yeah, I know the feeling. I was really hyped when the Tau were getting previewed, even though I know they're not the greatest. So Nearlark, reroll 1s to hits for this unit when they're shooting, including firing Overwatch, as long as they did not move in the preceding movement phase, and have not disembarked from a transport. That is pretty damn powerful. Rerolling 1s to hit in shooting is pretty damn brutal. And then we have the Doomsday Arc, which again has received a buff. So it's basically just gained on its Mega Gun D6 shots all the time. And for its minigun, it's gained 50% range and it's gone from D3 to D6. That's pretty damn... It's not a huge upgrade, but it's an upgrade. Neolek. It could be Neolek. I always got Neolak or Neolak, but Neolek would work too. I don't know. I think I'd put too much on the A sound. Nihil. It could be like from nihilistic. I don't know. So damage control override. Pick an Necron vehicle until the end of the turn. Use the top row of that vehicle's damage table, regardless of how many wounds it has. Oh my god. Yes. I think it is always reroll once on Overwatch. I think I had to check the wording. Is like if they moved in their is it in their proceeding or the proceeding? In the preceding move. Yeah, I suppose they would always be rolling once they hit on Overwatch. That is very, very true. This damage control override is kind of fun. Because basically it's like, right, my vehicle's about to die, but I get to use it at full power for a turn. YOLO Leroy Jenkins. Yes, it's D shots now. Can't wait to feel like that whenever Slanesh comes out. Yeah, everyone wants that moment where their army gets released and they get to go utterly hype crazy. I'm hoping that the Adnet Deepkin will do that for me. The Daughters of Cain I really got hyped about and I wasn't disappointed. But the Adnet, the models haven't quite convinced me the same way the Daughters did. So I'm like, I hope the lore's really good and I hope the rules do something to convince me, yeah, this army's going to be hella fun to play, you should get it. Because I need an excuse. Damage control override is pretty damn useful. Asks chat not to meme. Oh yeah, ask chat not to meme. Immediately Leroy use all over the review. Like, I try not to meme too much. Like, if I'm in the mood, then a bit of light memeing is okay. But it's like when people just throw in memes for the sake of memes in the wrong places. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Also, I haven't memed that hard in this review. I memed about the damage control override, but I haven't memed that much. Now, Lich Guard. Dispersion field amplification. When an enemy unit targets a Lich Guard unit in the shooting phase with dispersion shields, get a 3+ invulnerable save, and they gave them back the bounce back. Every time you roll a flat 6, then the unit takes a mortal wound. Ah! They gave them the bounce back. They gave them the bounce back ability that they used to have back in 5th Ed. That's fun. I like that. I like that. I like that. I got all my 5 courtesies now. No, I'm sad. Sorry. Flying giant turtles. The Adnet do look... I'm not so keen on their cavalry. The turtles look great and the characters are unbelievable. The tidal wave character, the guy on the seahorse, kraken, unicorn, thingy McJib looks great. The priest looks great. The wizard looks pretty good. All the heroes look really good for the Adnet. There's the dude with like the angler lure, and you got the dude with the octopus on his shoulder and the scroll. The Adnet characters look fantastic. The rest of the army I'm undecided, but the characters look stellar. Reclaim a lost empire. If the unit is select a Neolak unit from your army, if it's within 3 inches of the net marker or did not move, if it's an if or. So if this or if this, then until the start of your next turn you can add 1 to saves for that unit and increase its attacks by 1. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I think that, wait, what is over the Lich Guard? I'm thinking that's over the Lich Guard, unless that's about the Ideneth. It's a problem with the chat delay, and I know people talk about it, but it's either that could be in reference to the Ideneth, or that could be in reference to the Lich Guard's utter nonsense. Could be either. What's the dispersion application? 2 points. Yeah, 2 points. Yeah, it's 2 points, but ow. Yeah, that's a good stratagem for Neolak. Give a unit +1 attack and +1 save if you stand still or are capping an objective. Or just charge onto an objective. Oh. Oh! It activates at the end of the turn and then it triggers until your next, in your opponent's turn. Oh, that's actually a really clever stratagem. Fair play. Oh, the turtles. Yeah, the flying turtles. Just go and look it up. I think that's all I could say. Is just go and look it up, or wait for Monday and I'll show them you there. Yeah. Reclaim the Lost Empire on the monolith there. Oh, Jesus Christ. Screw off. Okay, so that's those. And then today it's the... Oh, it's not Nekthyst, it's Nefrek. Sorry, my bad. So we get to do the Nefrek dynasty. And we apparently get to see a ridiculous Catan buff. Because apparently the Catan have received a massive buff. And that's just glorious. Glorious. Objective ability is life. It's quite a powerful ability, I'll give you that. It's quite a powerful ability. So, come out of that. The Nefrek Dynasty, aka the cool, funky teleporty ones. Put it on Nightbringer. Oh, jeez. Do they have the dynasty keyword Catan shards? Just double check. I don't know if they do. So translocation beams add 6 inches to your advance moves instead of just rolling for it. And that means you get 7 if you have certain abilities. And if you advance, you can move across models and terrain as if you were not there. That's still a really fun ability. I don't know how powerful it is, but it's extremely fun. So, also 2 units, Immortals with Tesla Carb. Oh, shove off. That would be brutal. Right, Catan. Catan shards can never benefit from dynastic codes. We couldn't resist spotlighting them in this preview. Diddly 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 dee. One of our favourites, extended suite of powers, including Cosmic Fire. Roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 9 inches of the Catan shard, and 1 if using a Tesseract Bolt. On a 4+, the enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wound. Jesus. MSU murder. Ouch. Sky of Falling Stars. Pick up to 3 different units within 18 inches. Roll a d6 for each, subtracting 1 if it is a Tesseract Bolt. If the result is less than the number of models in that unit, then they take D3 mortal wounds. A flat 6 always fails. Okay, so that's good for plinking off big units. That's pretty nasty. Seems like Trazyn has the best toys. Thoughts on the new Tau Codex? Mid-tier, haven't played it, haven't seen it really. Love I can make thematic my Catan shard, yeah, kinda. Love any ability that helps objective play? Agreed, because playing the objective is important in this game, damn it. I got Cleansing Flame from 7th. I suppose so. So, what are these? So represent the fractured, unstable personalities of a transcendent shard. You can now pick one of the following traits or roll for 2 at the start of the game. So Cosmic Tyrant, you can use 2 different powers instead of only 1. Ow. Add 1 to saves. Ow. Heal for D3 every turn. Ow. When it advances, add 12 instead of rolling a dice. Ow. Reroll wound rolls if this model in the fight phase. Ow. Enemy units do not receive a bonus for being in cover. Okay. Yeah, this... Pick 1, roll for 2. Always roll. Unless you really need, like, a specific one, like the healing. Always roll. Like, the top 3 are meh. The bottom 3 are bloody good. So, yeah, that's a pretty good thing. So, yeah, that's fun for if you're taking the Transcendent Catan rather than your classics. Every Catan will feel chaotic, terrifying, powerful, and unique, as they should. Correct. Now, Doom Scythes is a competitive one. Doom Scythes might not benefit directly from translocation beams. They're still valuable in Nefrek because of the translocation script. Translocation crypt, sorry. Use this strategy during deployments. You can set up a Nefrek infantry or swarm unit from your army in a translocation crypt instead of placing it on the battlefield. So basically, you get to stick a unit in Deep Strike Reserve. Yeah. So who remembers when Transcendent Shards were Titan level? Meh. 1 to 4 seems... Yeah, 4's pretty good. That was the rerolls to wound, wasn't it? No, that's the run one. So yeah, 1 to 4 is pretty good. To the Necron players who seem to be all over the chat, would you roll for that? Would you pick 1 and say 1 is really worth picking? Or would you always just take 2? Do you think that there's enough good ones there that you're happy with any 2? Or would you want to pick 1? Just let me know, I'd be curious. So yes, give a unit the ability to deep strike, which is good because it means you don't need a night sight to do it, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Then amalgamated targeting data. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase of a Dynasty Doom site within 6 inches of 2 other Dynasty Doom sites, so you need 3 of them. They cannot fire their death rays. Instead, select a point within 24 of all 3 that is visible to all of them. Roll the d6 for each unit within 3 inches of that point. Add 1 if that has 5 or more models, but -1 if it's a character. On a 4 plus 3d3 mortal wounds. That seems like for 3 Doom sites. That seems overkill. I don't think that's good enough. You'd roll. Okay, that says how good those powers are. If there's not one so powerful that you'd be forced to pick it, you're happy to roll. There's that many good ones. That says a lot. So Codex Necrons is available to pre-order tomorrow. It's time for streaming. So that's going to be interesting. I still don't know if the Necrons are going to be top tier. I think they're going to be good, but I just don't know how well they'll cope because they don't have the psychic defense against the Eldari and the potential for Imperial nonsense and also for chaotic shenanigans. I don't know how well they'll cope with that. As a result, I'd be hesitant to put them too high on my tier rankings, but I think they're going to be pretty damn solid. They're certainly going to be solid. Best in the game? Probably not, but definitely handleable and almost certainly better than the Tau. Probably. I mean, hopefully the Tau can hold their own, but I don't think the Necrons have got a one-up on the Tau in terms of the Codex, but I'm willing to be corrected. 1 to 3 is straight up broken. Yeah, there's some really, yeah. I mean, +1 save is nice. Healing for D3 is pretty damn powerful as well. And using 2 powers, I mean, we haven't seen the full suite, but just looking at the ones we saw today, yeah, ow. Top tier, maybe not, but fun, yes. Definitely, I hope they're going to be fun. As long as every army in the game is fun, that's enough. And then if some armies are just built for sweaty power gamers, then fine. You need an army for those sweaty power gamers, but as long as the rest of the armies in the game are fun, that is almost the more important thing. Oh, yep. This deck's put the Tau decks to shame with fun. Maybe, yeah. Smite spam's going to smash them. That's true, yeah. Basically, psychic defense, they don't have enough of it, which means that they're going to get utterly smashed. This is a sad thing, really. It is sad that psychic is just powerful enough to block some armies from being top tier. It is a sucker. Ba-da-da-ba-da-dum. Let me tell you, psychics don't warrant me. Grey Knights and Thousand Suns don't bring enough squads to do too much all over the place. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I am getting a little bit carried away in how powerful psychic spam is going to be. But I think it's just going to be annoying that you have absolutely no counter. It's not like last edition where everyone had Deny the Witch. In this edition, you either have psychic defense because you have psychers, or you don't. Magnus is the only concern, but Mefrit will tell him Chaos is error 404 not found. Yeah, Mefrit is going to be by far the strongest. Like, Nefrek are going to be a really fun, interesting army. Novok could be a really nice twist. Saltek is solid. Neolak could be really quite powerful, but it kind of forces you to stand still quite a lot. So, I don't know. I think Mefrit will be strongest. The rest will, and then Saltek and Neolak will be solid. And then Novok and Nefrek are harder to call. And there is Gloom Prisoners, but then you have to take Canoptic Spiders, and are you really wanting to take Canoptic Spiders? That's the question I have to ask. I mean, if you're the Tau, you have literally nothing, and that sucks. But hey, details. Details, man. They are important. Yeah, so that's the Necrons, folks. They'll be out on pre-order tomorrow if you want to get your hands on them. Of course, assuming you don't immediately start saving for the plastic sisters that are going to break most people's bank accounts in about 12 months' time, or 12 to 18 months' time. We shall have to see. Obviously, next codex is the Drakari, and then after that, we've got the Adepticon announced codices, the Imperial Knights probably being the first of them, and then we've got the Deathwatch and the Harlequins to look forward to, which will be a very fun time all round. It's a good set of codices coming along. I mean, Orcs and Space Wolves have some right to be salty. Get them on Tombstalkers too. Oh yeah, Tombstalkers are in the codex now. I forgot that was a thing for a minute. My bad. Yeah, it's nearly there. More scarabs to run over. That's those silly fleshy bits. I suppose, yeah. I personally don't rate the Canoptic Spiders super highly, but I barely know Necrons anymore these days. I'm really not an expert. So I kind of have to just go with the word of the chat on this one, because apparently we have like 3 or 4 Necron players here, which is just swell. Anyway, it's been an hour 50, so we'll have a little bit of time now, a bit of last questions and discussion, and then I'll probably wrap the stream up, because we are about 2 hours length. And here's some painting Blood Angels chaplains. Can you paint red? Can you paint black? Can you paint gold? If yes, you're fine. Watch Plastic Sisters just null all psychers. That's Sisters of Silence, not Sisters of Battle. Different thing. Space was supposed to get a jewel box too. With who and when and why and how and where are you getting that information from? Spiders are a support unit, gotta remember that. True, they're not frontline beat sticks, they're never meant to be. But I don't know, I just never rated them. Do you have Rowan as a mod? Yes, I did mod Rowan. Mainly because I wanted him to create a straw poll for me and you weren't here. So yes, Ben, I did mod Rowan. I know that's a silly idea, but I did. Sorry, I was probably a tad savage there, I apologise. Just like, I'm not a person to ask about painting. I can't paint for crap. Like, you might not know me very well if you're new to the channel, but I can't paint for crap. So I'm a terrible person to ask about painting. I'm terrible. Just not the person to ask, that's all. But yeah, for a chaplain, it's basically black, red, gold, bit of silver, maybe spot colour to taste, done. And there's really not much to say on them, that's all. Least favourite aspect of the Town Code is I've not read it. That's the thing. I've not read it. I don't own the Town Codex because if I wanted to get it, I'd have to get the French version. And if I did that, that's great for me. I could learn the lore, I could learn the rules, but then I'd have to buy another copy of the book when I went home because I'd need the English version for the rest of my friends. So it's one of those things. I might get it and I might look at it tomorrow when I go to Games Workshop, but I make no promises. Yeah, I probably didn't make an awful decision modding Rowan, but I needed someone to make a straw poll and you weren't here. And I'll let Ben have 10 minutes in the sun where he gets to chat to the chat and do his thing. French Wargame Studio. So what's the details for that? Why are some 2v2s from half 4? Oh, that's going to be so fun. Sorry, there's actually a French wargaming YouTube channel coming to Games Workshop Grenoble tomorrow, so I'm going to go and see them and just go down to the store. I need to get some paint anyway, but I'm going to go down to the store and maybe just pop my head in, maybe have a game, maybe get a battle report out of it against French Wargame Studio, because why not? We'll see. But yes, I'm not good at painting, trust me, I'm not. Oh. I think we accidentally drove that guy off. I'm sorry. Sorry, my fault. And that's the chat with John Papalani does one, he did a bit and had to do it on the wings. Well, thank you for saying I'm good at painting. I suck. Really, I suck. I've improved, yes, but I suck. I have improved, yes, but I still suck. I mean, the Stormcast look fine, but like when it comes to painting the Daughters of Cain or the Idnet Deepkin, whichever I get next, it's gonna be fun. Fun. Hell. It's going to be hell, because I can't paint flesh. If I could paint flesh, I might actually be fine, but I can't paint flesh, so I'm buggered. But whatever. By the way, Duncan is probably the greatest named Blood Bowl team ever. Oh, I'm sure he does. Duncan is lord of the memes and also the lord of the the painting community. All praise Duncan and all that stuff. Nolan City Oilers. Get in the bin, Duncan. Oh dear. What colour skin is the last one going to be? What's that in reference to? What colour skin is the last one going to be, chat? Why are you asking? What are you asking, chat? Sorry, typo? Okay, you're asking the chat something. Oh, it's about the Great and Clean ones. Sorry. Confused. It is regarding the Great and Clean ones. I remember your original pictures. Oh god, yeah. They were absolutely awful. Of course they were. They were awful. Paint them all like Magnus proxies. No, not red flesh, no. I appreciate the pun, but oh dear Emperor, stop. Oh dear. I don't think I'd want to paint like elves in red skin. I don't think that would look right. I think it would just look weird. It would just look weird. Like, on Magnus it works, but for anything else, no. No, I don't think so. Sorry, yawning, shouldn't be. My original red course says. Yeah, to be fair, when we all started the hobby, we were all terrible at painting. We all were. We've all improved, whether through just doing the same thing over and over again, see my green tide of orcs and to some extent my stormcast, or just picking up things as we go along and just getting a steadier hand. Sunburn? Really, Sunburn? Is in the mini wargaming video? Which one? You really need to be specific. They upload a lot of videos. So you really need to be more specific. The Maverick will do to the Altari. Solar Fury. Oh, that's a bad joke. That's a terrible joke. It's a terrible joke, but I appreciate it anyway. The GW crossover one. Raising Deathwing? Sounds good. I'm just trying to do I think I'm probably just going to do a bunch of work this weekend. I'm going to go and see, obviously, I'm going to Games Workshop tomorrow, but other than that, I'm just going to work and work and work. What's this crossover? I think I must have missed it, whichever one you're referring to. The meme one. Oh, if it's a meme one, I almost certainly missed it then. Maybe we could do something with red, but just some around the folds, maybe to have more wounds. Like, doing it with the Daughters of Cain, just giving like a red glaze, so it's like they've almost been so drenched in blood, it's soaked into their skin. That might work, but they still need to be flesh-based to start with. Painting at GW one day and a kid came out to me and said, wow, I could paint like you as a kid. The only difference between you and me is time. Yep, that's just time. It's just time. That's all it is. You get better as you go along. You always do. And that's just a fact. Yeah, I'm shame the kid actually can't out paint you now, but hey, way it is. Like, everyone gets better at painting. Some people are just better naturally as well. Or trades DW or something. It's funny. Feel accomplished. I got my joke appreciated by Tactica Imperialis. Nah. Paint is definitely a time thing. Practice makes perfect, as it were. Exactly. Like, some things you get better at. You get a steadier hand as you get older, until you reach a certain point, and then your hands maybe get a bit less steady. It is just the thing about practice and time and working at it repeatedly. So hopefully this round of Doors of Cain or Tactica, whichever it ends up being, will look a lot better than the original set, which means that when I originally repaint my Doors of Cain, they'll look better. Though I'll probably need to strip them because otherwise they're just going to get caked and stuff, and they really need not to because witch elves are really quite finicky. Anyway, on that note, I think it's almost time for me to call it a night. So I do hope you've enjoyed this stream. It's been a real good pleasure to get back into doing streaming again. I don't know about the model though, but anyway, I will hopefully be, well, tomorrow you've got a lore video coming, obviously, you always have a lore video coming. Monday, I've got my video coming out about Adepticon, where you get to see my thoughts on the Ideneth and the new codex releases and all of that good stuff, particularly the Ideneth. And then usual schedule programming, I assume. Town Call Malice probably will be next week. There'll be a battle report. If I get lucky, then French Wargame Studio will consent to a double battle report. We could make something work. We could definitely make something work. But watch this space and hopefully we'll have some content coming to you as per usual. And streaming, yeah. We shall see about that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very much. This has been Tactica Imperialis. Until next time, see you all again. Good night.